Welcome everyone to our conversation on this remarkable book, Quote DAH. It's a work that ties in wisdom from previous writings and presents an array of lessons, you know?
I'm definitely excited to delve into its layers. The ideas on not being a fool and the exchange of wisdom really caught my attention.
Yeah, exactly. The book opens with a strong preface that lays out its intent clearly, to inspire readers to harness wisdom and avoid foolishness in everyday actions. It brings together philosophies from past works, like Life Lesson from Epoch and Epoch for All.
Right. And it even underlines the idea that every wise choice is surrounded by wisdom. I love that recurring phrase. It's like a constant reminder throughout the work.
It really sets the tone, doesn't it? The introduction emphasizes how every quotation is curated or improved from previous texts. It tells us that wisdom isn't just available in grand speeches, but that even a single, well-crafted verse holds the potential to spark insight in our lives.
Speaking of insights, the chapter Don't Be a Fool really dives into practical advice about avoiding foolish behavior. What caught your attention most there?
Oh, for sure. It's interesting how it discourages creating pre-made plans just to manipulate others or even oneself. It warns that if you conspire with a fool or try to force a plan, you risk inheriting that foolish nature.
Yes, I was struck by the verse comparing laziness to a seed growing into sin. It's such a visceral image, making the consequences of inactivity really tangible.
Absolutely. It almost sounds like a cautionary tale in plain language. If you lay the groundwork of laziness, trouble is just going to blossom. And the metaphor about glory is also thought-provoking. Don't be fooled by instant gratification when the promise of something greater looms ahead.
Exactly. But I have to wonder, isn't there a risk in dismissing even fleeting glory? I mean, some might argue that experiencing immediate success can sometimes be a stepping stone in learning.
That's a fair critique, but the text points out that getting too attached to ephemeral glory can trap you in a perpetual cycle of foolish decisions. It warns against equating short-term wins with long-term wisdom.
Moving on, the philosophy of wisdom in chapter 2 really stood out. It's like wisdom is presented as a practical resource that shapes our actions and outcomes.
Absolutely. It's almost like the author is advising us to see wisdom as currency. You trade in your willingness to learn and improve for better outcomes in life. And it's fascinating how it links wisdom with every decision you make.
Yep, that's true. And there's that point about not giving away all your knowledge when dealing with a fool. I mean, you've got to protect your strategy sometimes, right?
Exactly. It suggests a delicate balance. Share enough to grow, yet be cautious of those who might twist your wisdom against you. I like that idea, even though it feels almost tactical in nature.
Yes, a bit like a chess game where every move must be measured. The text also talks about the process by which wisdom is transformed from experiences and failures, from necessity and hard work.
Right, and that ties nicely into the next chapter on wise lesson advice. Here, the emphasis shifts to learning from the voices of the past, our ancestors, the evolution of thought, and the critical nature of willpower.
It's almost as if the author wants us to channel our inner strength to keep pushing forward. There's that idea that your body is a vessel for not just your mind, but all your accumulated knowledge and dreams.
Exactly, and he warns against idle behavior. Doing nothing is not an option if you want to transform yourself. The insistence on taking action really resonates with me.
Absolutely, yes. There's also a recurring motif about timing, like do the work and manage your time. That's essential for action. It's not just philosophy, but, practical advice.
Right on. To add, there's a powerful challenge in the text to stop complaining and start doing. It warns that a complainer's sword is ineffective compared to genuine action.
True. I found the part on cultivating life knowledge particularly interesting. It's almost like a personal call to arms. Stop saying I can't and start embracing opportunities.
Yes, indeed. It stresses that cultivating yourself is entirely within your control. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, but also learn to work independently. The metaphor of the tiniest insect waking the giant reminds me that even small efforts can lead to a monumental change.
Absolutely. Definitely. Although I wonder, do you think the emphasis on singular independence might downplay the value of collaboration sometimes?
That's an interesting point. While the text does advocate for personal cultivation, it also mentions how you can learn from and absorb advice from others. It's a balance between independent action and taking in the wisdom of your surroundings.
I see that. It really paints a picture of self-reliance as not being about isolation, but about empowering oneself so that when you do interact with others, you're not easily swayed.
Exactly. And along the way, the book tackles the pitfalls of laziness, showing how a lazy mindset can ultimately lead to failure and even influence negative outcomes. It's a sobering reminder that effort matters.
Yes, that really hit home. Plus, there's that vivid imagery regarding the impact of lying and complaining. It creates a kind of self-sabotaging cycle that prevents growth.
It really does. And I love how the author layers these lessons with relatable analogies, like comparing a complaint to a sword that must be wielded with caution. It shows that words, when not backed by action, can damage your reputation.
Right, totally. And speaking of reputation, there's also the emphasis on respecting oneself. If you don't honor your own value, how are you supposed to expect respect from others?
Absolutely. The text repeatedly reminds us that our actions, decisions, and even our reputation go hand in hand with wisdom. The idea is clear. Knowledge, combined with proper action, leads to an improved reality.
It's almost as if every chapter builds on the previous one, starting with avoiding folly, moving through wisdom, then extracting lessons and cultivating life knowledge. The structure itself is like a roadmap to self-improvement.
Yes, exactly. The synthesis of these themes is really impressive. Not only do we get a philosophical understanding, but we also receive, highly practical advice that encourages us to take charge of our lives.
Right, that's the beauty of it. One thing I noticed is that while the text is very rigorous in its lessons, sometimes the tone can come across as a bit rigid. Do you think that detracts from its message?
That's a thoughtful observation. I believe the firmness in tone is meant to underscore the importance of the lessons. It's almost like the author is saying, this is serious business. But yeah, there could be instances where a softer tone might have connected even more.
I get that. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? Like too much strictness might lose some readers, but the urgency might also spur action.
Absolutely. And even with that rigidity, the recurring interjections about truth, hard work, and willpower serve as constant nudges to keep us focused.
Yep. The metaphor of life as a business, where hard work is like a startup needing careful nurturing, really encapsulates that balance of urgency and practicality.
Very well put. And the idea that wisdom is something you earn through experience, not just by reading or knowing, reinforces that every decision has tangible consequences in our life's journey.
Indeed. Overall, Quote Dage offers a kind of blueprint for self-reformation. It challenges us to take a hard look at our habits, both good and bad, and to actively pursue improvement.
Exactly. I appreciate how it intertwines philosophy with everyday practicality, urging us to avoid foolery, embrace wisdom, take lessons from failures, and to cultivate life knowledge relentlessly.
Yep, that's the takeaway. In conclusion, what do you think is the most impactful lesson from the book?
Well, for me, it's the reminder that a wise choice is always surrounded by wisdom. Even if the delivery can be direct at times, it constantly pushes us to be aware, to act, and to never settle for mediocrity, to be our very best in the face of challenges.
Absolutely. I agree. It's about, ultimately, embracing the idea that our actions shape our reality and that every decision counts. Thanks for such an engaging discussion on these timeless lessons.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone listening for joining us on this journey deep into the heart of Quote DAH. Stay wise and keep making those wise choices.